Yes! Good morning, riders. It is such a treat to be here with you today. I am your MC, Steve Klintberg-Nodge. I'm so stoked to be back with you here in the digital realm this morning because we have got such a great Zwift ride coming up with Rigo. It is going to be phenomenal. But right now, just before we get started here, I want you to make sure that you are getting in on the contest for today. Contest number one, we're giving away one Ride to Conquer Cancer t-shirt, one hat, and one RTCC water bottle. All you have to do to get in on that is take a selfie of yourself riding today, post it on Instagram with the hashtag It's Why. Now, let's bring in one of the gentlemen of the hour. He is our lead here at the ride. You all know him well. Please give it up for the one and only Steve Merker.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Great to see. We got like 400 riders on Zwift right now as we take off. And we have Rigoberto Urán joining us today, all the way from Monaco. Thank you, Rigo, for joining us. Rigo, for those who don't know who are watching, is an Olympic silver medalist. He has come second in the Giro d'Italia twice and second in the Tour de France a couple of years ago, and I had the opportunity to go down and do the Giro de Rigo 2 years ago, and I did the Giro de Rigo virtual this year. And Rigo is, for the Canadians who are watching, Rigo is like the Sidney Crosby of cycling in Colombia. He's incredible. Rigo, thank you so much for joining us today on this ride. We've got, what are we at? Well over 400 people joining us. So thank you, Rigo. How are you doing today?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for this invitation. I'm so happy to ride for everybody because it's very, very, very nice to ride to Conquer Cancer today. And this moment I'm in Monaco training for my next race. My next race is in Dubai Tour. In this moment I'm training every day here.
Awesome.
Phenomenal. Rigo, it is so great to have you here with us today. I know a lot of you are going to be chasing him down on this ride. He is taking it nice and chill for the moment to make sure that you can all latch on to his back tire and keep going there with him. But he's definitely going to be turning on the steam in a little bit. For those of you who might not know everything about Rigo, well, this gentleman is one heck of a pro road racer. Right there. He races for ICU World Team, EF Education Nippon, and at the 2012 Summer Olympics in London, he rode home with the silver medal for the road race and has become the first Colombian ever to make it to the podium on the Giro d'Italia. So he's got those hill climbs dialed in, and on the Giro d'Italia, he finished second in 2013. Now, he is going to be pressing those pedals extra hard. We're all super stoked to be riding along with him here. Make sure that you are on the bike, having a grand old time here today. Use that chat function. Say hi to all your fellow riders out there. It is super cool. We've got so many of you coming through today. I love seeing this leaderboard going up and down on Zwift here right now. Over 400 of you tuning in for this ride today. Rigo, if you're not too out of breath yet, which I'm guessing you're probably not, Steve said that you're coming in from Monaco today. How is it out there?
Here it's okay for me to call. Today I training this morning and in the climb I find 3-4 degrees. Okay, for me it's very, very, very cold because I prefer when it's the summertime, because I'm from Colombia, no? In Colombia, normally the temperature is always more than 10 degrees. Here, for me, it's difficult. Also, because the last 4 years, I never raced in the Giro d'Italia, always go to the Tour de France, and I prefer start my season around April, because here in Europe, the temperature is very nice, 20. Also, the summertime is very nice. But this year is different. I raced early because start my season, first time in my life, start my season in February in France, because for this team is very important. Next week, the water tour, the first racing, and then we see the next racing.
That is sounding mighty fine. I'm glad that you're finding that like 2 to 3 degrees in Monaco, pretty cold right now. Here in Calgary, in Western Canada, it's only minus 28 at the morning outside.
It's impossible to ride outside. It's better to stay at home.
That's why it's nicely dangerous. Inside and doing this on Zwift, which is great. Yeah. Have you ever been to Canada and ridden here?
Yes, many times. My first time in Canada is 2011 in Vancouver, because my wife is there. And the last time we go to Quebec, Montreal for the racing. 3 or 4 times to Montreal and Quebec. I hope the next year I write to everybody to write to Conquer Castle, but not virtual in Toronto. I hope the situation is better.
Please consider this a formal invitation to come and ride with all of us in Toronto for the Ride to Conquer Cancer, both in the digital event this June 12th and 13th, but then also we're going to get you on the bike and on the pedals, leading the way when we're back out on the roadways. And considering all of your forte here in the Tour de France, 2017 Tour de France, you won a stage and finished 2nd overall. So everybody like me who is chasing you on Zwift right now has got our work cut out for you. But let's keep pedaling on here. Rigo, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to keep coming along with you, trying to catch that back tire of yours. It is awesome to have people coming in from all over the world. We can see them crawling up and down the leaderboards right now. Like I was saying earlier, over 400 of you, so cool. Over 150 of you signed up in the last 24 hours. So it is great to see this amount of energy coming out on the pedals here today. Oh yeah, keep up the chat as we go along in Zoom or in Zwift here right now. Send some love, some thumbs up to everybody else as you're riding alongside them and get that sweat going here. Oh, I'm going to take a look at everybody who is riding. You guys there is a great peloton going on, a good pack of you chasing Rigo along. Rigo, feel free to pump on the gas. Give them a nice little run for their money there.
Oh, yeah, all people when they ride in swing is go full gas, never go easy. The people so strong, man, in swing.
Well, actually, so if you've got some tips for all of us, what is the correct way to approach a ride like this today? How do you get prepped?
Okay, today is 1 hour. Is normal for me when riding on tree. It's very important. You need good ventilation. You need open the window. It's very important. Air, because when you close, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. And you lost the power. You need open your door, because in Canada you don't need aircon. You need only open the door and the freezer arrive.
Get some breeze in.
Good ventilation. Yes, good ventilation, by the way. Because when you don't have good ventilation, you lose your power.
Oh yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And what kind of I was watching a video of you talking about prepping for the Tour de France, and I liked it. It's an afternoon ride, so none of this waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. Like all of us out on the West Coast right now. But what's the breakfast motif for you on the way, and how do you fuel up properly for a ride?
Okay, the food is very important. I need my preferred breakfast before every stage. TT stage, Klein stage. My breakfast every day on the Tour de France is 3 or 4 eggs with jam, rice, and coffee. This is I take B, but that. Be breakfast 3 hours before the start. Also, during the race, eat the master prepare the small rice cake. Also, the bars, gel, hydration is very important. You take water, mix every 20 minutes because you need eat a lot. Also, and when you finish, for example, the last hour, you eat less, less because you need more energy, more power. Just drink gels. No eat rice cake, bars. The last 1 hour. This is important, Matt. Also, when you finish the ride or the stage, you have about 40 minutes for it. It's very important when you finish your ride, you arrive, take the shower, and immediately good carbohydrate, rice or pasta. Is very important for your recovery. But for everybody, not for professional, also for everyone. When you ride more than 3 or 4 hours, very important when you arrive, eat immediately. Good pasta or rice, good carbohydrate.
I'm glad for all of those tips. It's going to keep us good and healthy, powering through not only this ride, but the rides coming up. We just had a question coming in on Zwift about, is there a contest prize for the person who stays closest to Rigo throughout this? And yes, indeed, there is. You're jumping ahead on us here, guys, right now. So you got to keep up that pace, keep that wattage up, and stay there with Rigo for a little bit before we get to that particular contest at the time. But right now, make sure that you are chatting, you are sending love to each other. We've got 65 people who are watching on the YouTube feed right now. So just really cranking out the ranks. And because this is Valentine's Day, we know that you guys are all about the love right now, the love to your significant others, to the people around you, to your family and your friends, especially those who may have had a very difficult year this past year, who may be going through a new diagnosis or through treatments or on the tail end of a cancer diagnosis and doing better, but having a difficult time with isolation, with COVID protocols and safety and everything. So, every single day, but especially today on Valentine's Day, it is a great excuse to send some love to your fellow riders and make sure that you're saying some beautiful words to family and friends and really just letting people know that you care. We're all so glad to see you here. We're so glad to have this community through thick and thin, through mud and sweat and tears of every single sort. So thank you all for being here. I hope that you are all already signed up for this summer's digital Ride to Conquer Cancer on June 12th and 13th. It is going to be epic. It is going to be awesome. And it is going to be digital. So if you've got friends from around the world, like our rock star here, Rigo, who's coming in from Monaco today, they can jump in on the ride. Just head to ride2conquer.ca and sign up there today. All right. Keep those pedals blasting here right now. I hope that you are gearing up and having some good fun. I am seeing a lot of people up here on Zwift who are pushing hard. Big shout out to our sponsors throughout the ride. Of course, our title sponsor, Enbridge. They are amazing, have been a partner for so many years. I think we're edging over a decade with them, if not more at this point. Enbridge, huge team, incredible support all the way through the history of the Ride to Conquer Cancer. A big thank you to our breakaway partners, KPMG. I know we've got a lot of KPMG riders out here today having a grand old time alongside our other breakaway partners, RBC. Oh yes, you guys always push super hard. I hope you have got those pedals and those gears geared up right now and just throwing the wattage through. And Live Patrol, thank you. You guys are amazing. Jackaroo as well. It always feels good to be in some nice ride swag. So those of you who got in on the first part of the contest number 1, who are looking for a ride water bottle, a ride hat, and a ride shirt. All you have to do to get in on that contest is make sure that you are taking a good old selfie right here, right now. Boom. And then posting that to Instagram with the hashtag It's Why. Oh, yeah. All right. Get some breathing heavy on the pedals right now. Make sure that you're taking Rigo's advice, staying good and hydrated. Oh, yes.
Steve, you're out of
We
breath,
have got
man.
the Ride to Conquer Cancer crew coming on through. Bigiali coming on in. We've got some big old teams here today. As always, some of the biggest. We've got the RMP Accelerators. Tony Files, you're going to get to meet him in just a second. He is throwing down with $35,475 raised this year. Absolutely amazing. And on Team Scotiabank, Graham Anderson, I know you are pushing those pedals really hard today, right now. $25,223 raised. Holy smokes. Christina Vetro from Team CIBC. Oh, yes. I'm going to try and pedal along here with you. Try to keep up with you right now. You are one of our amazing riders. Christina has raised $1,488 this year for the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. Totally amazing. Every dollar that you guys are raising is going to life-saving treatments and research. Keep it coming. Even in the digital realm, every single bit helps out so much, makes a difference in the lives of so many people that we all love. And no, I know that's why you're here. I know that's why I am here. I want to know in the comments on Zwift, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're tuning into this today, who are you riding for? Who is in your heart? Who is helping to guide your tires out on the road or your pedal strokes here in the digital zone? Who is pumping you along? For me, it is Ralph Klintberg. He is my wife's uncle. He passed away just a few weeks ago, but had one heck of a fight throughout. And in his 8 decades, made an impression on this world that we were so thankful for. And we were so thankful for the last year and a half that we didn't think that we were going to have. But because of amazing research, we got that extra time. I'm also riding here today for Kat Thack, a good friend who we haven't been able to celebrate her life yet because of COVID, but when we're out of this, we will. So please put in those comments who you're here for today, who you're here for the ride. And I am going to shout out some love to you guys on Zwift here. Oh, it's so great to see every single one of you riding along hard. Who's keeping up with Rigo right now? Oh, yeah. I'm following him, and he is doing just an amazing job. Whew! Rigo, you are amazing, man. Truly stellar. It is so awesome to have you here.
I'm professional, man. I ride every day this bike.
Well, exactly that. What do you do on a daily basis? Like, how is training for you?
Training for me is my job, my life. I like every day to ride my bike, because when ride my bike in the road, I see so many friends, so many people. I love this job. I love also when you go to the racing. Okay, when you go to the Tour de France, you have stress, many problems, but the most important is enjoy the life. Enjoy the life, because it's the most important.
So how do you train on a daily basis? Are you always training with your teammates, or you here on Zwift, or what do you what do you do to keep yourself as active as you need to be?
No, depends. For example, I have before the Tour de France, I have one training camp, 20 days, with the team, the 10 or 11 guys, the selection for Tour de France, and every training 20 days before the Tour de France. For example, last year with the pandemic, I trained with my team virtual. First time in my life, training and race, training camp on swing. First time, I never see, with my team, because my team is international. I have already from Canada, US, Australia, Colombia, Ecuador, and every Monday and every Friday, everybody find a good hour for everybody for training all together. This is a different. This is you need to adapt your time for training.
It's a good way to get into things here. I hope that like everybody else who is on here is doing their daily training, trying to keep up with you. I know we've got a few people who are trying really hard to keep up with you right now. So before we jump into some special highlights of some great speakers that we have lined up, you guys were wondering about the contest for trying to keep up with Rigo. He's pedaling hard right now, and I hope you are as well. So for the people who are closest to Rigo right now, you are about to walk away with a Rigo hoodie, a Rigo t-shirt, and a Rigo water bottle. There is one winner here. And all right, we got the production team ready for this. I'm going to put the clapper down when we're at that moment. I hope that you guys are getting the wattage up right now. Rigo is pushing hard, and our winner is coming through, the person closest to Rigo right now. Oh, wow, there is a good pack right behind you. So they have been pushing through. We're going to get the winner listed out in just a moment. You guys are doing amazing here. But let's bring up one of our amazing people who is riding along with us today, but also does incredible work every single day at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center. When we're talking about the Zwift style, king of the mountain, queen of the mountain, this person is like the king of the mountain in terms of cancer research, making huge gains and really setting the pace for everybody else. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Tony Files.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you doing today?
Excellent. Just
nice and
great to
sweaty?
be doing the interview when I'm going up the hill.
That's the way we like to do it, make sure that you're good and sweaty and breathing hard. So walk us through for a second, what is going on in your life at the Princess Margaret nowadays? What is really setting the standard?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting time, of course, with COVID and cancer research. My job is to treat women with breast cancer with radiation. And one of the interesting opportunities, despite all the challenges, has been that COVID has allowed us to accelerate the adoption of short radiation treatment over a 1-week period rather than the standard 3 weeks. And that's because ordinarily clinical trial results take a year or two to get into practice. But with COVID, we realized that shortening the radiation, getting excellent results, fewer side effects, and reducing the time would reduce the risk of patients getting COVID. So we got a group together from CCO and others, and we quickly adopted this in all the centers in Ontario. So now patients with node-negative breast cancer can be finished in a week's time rather than 3 to 5 weeks that they have at other parts of the world.
That is
so
amazing.
That's been a significant benefit for us that really, in part, is related to the pandemic.
Kind of one of those like helpful inadvertent side effects that comes out of a pretty awful overall situation. But how are the patients themselves finding that reduced time?
Oh, they love it. It's so much simpler for them, and reduces their risk, reduces the risk to the staff. And all this has been in part because of support from the Foundation and the Right to Conquer Cancer, of course. And in fact, our next study that we're embarking on now will be to try to do the same thing for women with node-positive cancer who require more extensive radiation. So with that, we're hoping we'll be able to deliver one-week treatment to virtually all women in this situation.
And that a significant portion of that funding is coming from the Ride to Conquer Cancer and the Princess Margaret?
It supports our clinical trials group, and of course, without them, we wouldn't have any chance of completing these sort of research studies. So it's a significant portion of our support. Yes.
So if you had sort of one wish for everybody here on Zwift with us today, what would you ask everyone to do to make your life, your work, and your patient's life easier?
Well, I'd ask them to support the Cancer Ride, support the radiation medicine program. As you heard about, the RMP accelerators have been very successful over the past 13 years. And I think with that support, we can continue to do this sort of work that will improve treatment and reduce side effects for women who need radiation treatment.
Amazing. That is phenomenal. The idea of being able to get out, get your heart rate up, and support the lives of so many people. Now, in that, and I know that was kind of leading, but you are a tried and true Ride to Conquer Cancer rider. And so for you personally, why do you ride?
Well, I ride for a number of reasons. First, we've all got friends and family. My son and I ride in memory of my wife, who was treated by the gynecologic cancer team of Ahmed Oza and Stephanie Leroy and Naslin. And they gave her such better quality of life in the last year of her life that in part was due to research that was done at Princess Margaret. So I ride for her, for them, and I also ride for all my own patients who
Dr. Files?
Of patients dealing with the diagnosis and treatment. Yeah.
So that. Oh, I'm having you break up a little bit on my end, but I think this is coming through loud and clear, this sentiment of riding, fundraising, being out here for the people close to you, the people that we love. Tony, any massive encouraging parting words here for everyone who is trying to keep up with Rigo today, or frankly, keep up with you right now like I am?
I doubt you're having much trouble keeping up with me, but for those people who are trying to chase Rigo, just put the hammer down. It's not a problem. Just go.
I like it. Dr. Tony Files right there telling us, let's go. Exactly. It is not about where, it's why, and why we are here on the pedals right now. Having a grand time this morning, Valentine's Day morning, coming on through. Thank you, Dr. Files. That was awesome. I love the work that you guys are doing, and it's amazing to see that those treatment times are being compressed as kind of a positive symptom or outcome of COVID. So, all right, we've got a great peloton right around Rigo right now, and then another peloton a little bit further on in the pack. This is pretty darn cool to see. I love that we're all connecting from around the world. I'm going to check in with Steve Merker right now, our resident ride guide. How are you doing there, Steve?
I'm doing pretty good, Steve. I'm 11.3 kilometers in. I was just listening to Tony Files talk. He's just a little bit behind me. He's about a minute and a half behind me. So I'm going to wait up for Tony so we can maybe cross the finish line together.
Nice.
It's great to hear you know, what Tony and his team is working on and how meaningful his work is to, you know, to himself and to everybody, frankly, who's participating in this ride today. So it's, you know, this is why we do this, and it's riding with meaning. And, you know, you heard Rigo earlier talking about how his life is about bike riding, and that's his passion. And I think so many of us have a passion for riding and doing it for a good purpose. And that's what we're all doing here today. So it's a pleasure to be a part of this. I just hit 11.7 kilometers. I'm on the bridge going over the water, enjoying the scenery. I'm not going too hard. I'm hoping to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait at the finish line and make sure every single rider crosses the line, and we'll cheer them on as they come across. So thanks for checking in, Steve.
Hey, no, definitely, Steve. And I've got to say, like, a general personal thank you from me to you. Everybody knows that Steve has been part of the ride since the very, very, very start. He's been here with us, always cheering everyone on, cheering them across the finish line, everything. And I've been lucky enough to be part of the ride for, I think, 8 years. Maybe this is 9 years, 10 years. I don't even know at this point. Emceeing the rides across the country and just having a phenomenal time. But for me, everything changed 4 years ago when I participated in my first ride. It was amazing, standing there, microphone in hand at the start line on day one, saying, ready, set, ride, having everybody stream across that start line, and then putting down the mic, passing it on, jumping on my bike and taking off, and just pedaling alongside the other riders and being able to share a sweaty, out of breath story about why we were there, who we were riding for,
114.
Whose diagnosis had come back, or who was having a ton of success, who was having fun on the day of, who was just like pounding back granola bars and apples and bananas as much as they could. That made all the difference to me. And I have ridden every single year since then, and just cannot wait to be here with you in digital format this year, and then hopefully shoulder to shoulder again in a couple of years, or next year in 2022. I love that everybody is taking safety as the number one thing. That's always what it is along the ride. And so now, even though the terms of safety have changed a bit, I'm glad to see that we are all adapting and coming together right here. Over 400 of you right now on this Zwift ride. It is so cool and so amazing.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, what you got?
I just, thanks. I can tell you're breathing hard. You must be trying to keep up with Rigo. I'm going easy at the back, but and I know you're going to be interviewing a couple more people, but I wanted to give a few shout outs to some of the teams that we have participating today. And, first of all, the banking financial services sector here in Canada have been unbelievable supporters of the Ride to Conquer Cancer. So shout out to, I hope I don't miss any. Well, Scotiabank, first of all, because they helped get Rigo to join us today. RBC, BMO, National Bank, CIBC. I know we have some CIBC riders out there. Who did I miss? TD. Oh, yeah, there's some great TD riders here today. And then a few other teams. We interviewed Tony Files. He rides on the RMP accelerators. We've got the HEAM team and Team Surge On. So those are three teams made up of hundreds of clinicians, scientists, doctors, administrators from Princess Margaret. And they've raised millions of dollars in support of the ride year after year. A few other teams I want to shout out to, we got Manulife, Sun Life, Microsoft, of course, Livewire, Ambi's International Aces, and of course my team, Geared for Life. So props to all my teammates who are riding with us today. So thank you everyone for joining. There's so many teams, so many people to thank, but I just wanted to do a few quick shout outs before I hand it back to you, Steve.
Oh, that is perfect. You are absolutely right. I echo every sentiment there. I always love seeing the big, especially the financial teams, come across that finish line on day one, day two together. Those the TD team especially knows how to party and have a grand old time and celebrate the ride. So it is going to be really cool biking alongside everyone in the virtual Ride to Conquer Cancer. I hope that you are all getting signed up. It is June 12th and 13th, 2021. And we have the contest winners coming in from contest number 1. Those are the Ride shirt, Ride water bottle, and Ride hat. Big congratulations to, it's Gar Edwards. And we've got Cuisine Ordinaire and True North Rider. So our 3 winners for contest number 1 there. And we'll give you an update on contest number 2 as well. But congratulations there, Gar Edwards, Cuisine Ordinaire, and True North Rider. Oh, super duper cool. Well, guys, we have passed that halfway mark right now. We are 34 minutes into this ride. Having a grand old time. Steve, you're totally right. I am sweating and breathing hard on the pedals here. I'm not quite at the point of keeping up with Rigo, but having an awesome time nonetheless. Rigo, how are you doing in Monaco right now?
All good, man. Here it's okay. The moment everything under control. I train in 3 days more and then go to Dubai. I live 3 days more here and then live to Dubai. And now,
Nice. Okay, so I know that a few of us are very curious when everything opens back up again and we can fly down to Colombia. Where should we be booking that plane ticket to go for a ride? Where's a prime ride to hit up?
Colombia.
Just Colombia in general? Do the whole tour?
No. Colombia is no. Colombia is so nice for riding. Also here in Monaco, in France, Italy, so very nice. In the world, how many places to ride? But I prefer my climb in Colombia because the weather is amazing, fine, and also big climb, short climb, steep climb. You have everything, and the most important of all is good weather. It's amazing weather. I prefer, but also it's more than 20 years training in different parts. Also, I trained in 2 months for the Olympic Games 2012. I trained 1 month in Vancouver. I remember Vancouver. Sometimes I go to Whistler. I don't remember the name. The decline close to Vancouver. My bike is. I train in many parts, in many different places. Every place is different. Every place I have good friends. It's nice.
It's getting some definite change of scenery, as many different places to train and enjoy and get the wind through your hair. I love it. I'm going to have to come for a ride in Monaco at some point here. We have got another amazing special guest on deck here right now. He is a participant in the ride. He has been riding since 2007. He is a cancer survivor himself, having recovered from testicular cancer, and is just an all-round incredible supporter of the entire ride community and those around him. Let's give it up for the one and only Anthony Georgi. Anthony.
Steve, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm mid-pack here. Rigo in the front, Merker in the back. Feels like a dirty old mullet.
Keep going.
It sounds good and fashionable for sure. Ride's going well for you today?
Awesome as always.
Do you have some good buddies right around you as well?
I do, yeah. My buddy Kyle's riding from the Psycho Warriors today. We got Steve Merker, of course, in the back. You're somewhere in the pack, and then Rigo, of course, is up top. So glad to be with you all.
Nice. Now, I know it's always a difficult subject, but can we ask you to share a bit of your cancer story and your cancer journey with all of us who are pedaling today?
Of course. So in 2005, The first time I had to grapple with cancer, I lost my aunt at the age of, she was 49 years old, lost her to lung cancer. She never smoked a day in her life. And so to watch, her fight that fight, her body transform, to the very end was so difficult for me. I was 26 at the time. And then of course, a year later, 2006, I myself was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And it felt like the world fell from beneath my feet. It was absolutely shell shocking. My family was just in disarray. It was a tough thing to deal with at the age of 26 when you don't even think, you shouldn't ever have to think of those words when you're that age. And so, the amazing folks at Princess Margaret, Dr. Michael Jewett and his team took care of me. They brought me in. And the first lesson learned was very much, you got one option. You fight. You fight, you stay positive. And that's what this is all about. It's all about breeding those positive vibes, fighting for ourselves, our loved ones, and everybody else.
Amazing. And so correct me if I'm wrong here, but you managed to fight your way through and you recovered from the testicular cancer. And now, how is life?
Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable. I mean, cycling's a lot easier for me, riding a little lighter down below. No shame in that whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, you go in and the Princess Margaret folks over there are incredible through and through. I mean, I went through a 5-year monitoring program from surgery onward. And, they basically held my hand, kept my spirits up the entire time. And now, they've sort of given me the pat on the back. And I've made it my mission to do the same for everybody else. Every cancer cause I can come across. Obviously, Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, so near and dear to my heart. And, anytime I hear of somebody, undertaking their own fight or have a loved one that undertakes the fight, it's about passing those good lessons forward.
In terms of those good lessons forward, what advice, what kind of pick me up or what message would you give out to anybody who is going through that right now?
You got to keep your head down. The only option you truly have is to fight and stay positive. Can't let any negative thought enter your mind frame, whether your family supporting a loved one or the individual fighting the disease yourself. You got to stay positive because your energy really dictates the way your body's going to react. You want to keep those acidity levels down and just keep that positive mindset, maintain a good diet. It's a tough one. It's no doubt a tough fight, but you can do it. You got all the support of these amazing people here today around you, supporting all sorts of cancer causes. We're all here for people like you.
I love that. I love that aspect of there really is this community around you. And I know that this is never easy. I know that journey is something none of us want to go through. And I'm proud that you're all here today, here on the bikes as well, because I know these are not the same journey by any means at all, but it is that moment of catharsis and putting yourself into the fight here and pushing through something difficult and trying and epic. Anthony, is there anybody you want to give a massive shout out to here while we're riding?
I do. My dear friend Rosanna Falconio just got home from the hospital a couple days ago. She was there for 5 days, underwent a radical hysterectomy. They a couple weeks back they detected ovarian cancer, stage 3, and she's got 2 little ones at home. We're glad to have her home, but she's got her head down. She's staying positive. She's fighting. Rosanna, I'm riding for you this year. This pack here, we're all riding for you. We all got your back. Keep those spirits up. Ride on, as they say.
Amazing. Ride on indeed. I want to thank you very much, Anthony Georgie, everybody. Let's give him a big pedal bound round of applause right now. And I'm going to bring this in to Rigo, Rigo, you probably know better than anyone some good pieces of wisdom for pushing through a really difficult climb, a really difficult journey. is there anything you'd like to share about how to keep yourself going through a fight, whether it's on the pedals or through something like cancer?
Yeah. For example, in Tour de France, it's 21 stages, and sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you say it's impossible to rise. It's impossible. For me, the most important is you try. You try. You need to try. It's very important. The team is very important. The family, health, and the most important, you try every day. Sometimes the people have something when you lose because you not try, you're not sure. For me, the most important, you're training well, you recover well, and it's very important your motivation. And when you have this, you need to try to win. You need to try every day. It's very important. Sometimes it's difficult because the climb, the stage, for example, in Tour de France is 3 weeks. It's more than 3,000 kilometers in 21 days. The last week is super hard, but you need to try. You need push. You need do everything because it's hard for everybody. It's hard for everybody. It's not for me. It's also for the Tour de France. Also for this guy when I ride the Gruppetto at 20 minutes, but it's hard for everybody. Also for the team. The most important for me in this case is you need teamwork. Teamwork. The people help different.
Exactly. You got to keep training. You got to keep pushing through. You got to find those people who support you and that you support through your actions, so that even when there are those setbacks, there can be that motivation to try and push it just a little bit further and keep going through. And I know that a lot of you right now are pushing up these hills and having one heck of a blast. So for some good motivation about what you are doing here today and through the Ride to Conquer Cancer and what it means to be doing this push and these donations to the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, I'm going to bring in somebody here who knows what is going on at the heart of the Princess Margaret. Please welcome Dr. Credell. Let's bring him on in. Dr. Robert Credell.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you here. So explain to us a little bit about your work and your role at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center.
Yes, so again, first of all, thanks for organizing this event. It's amazing. Bit hard. So I'm a lymphoma specialist. I work in a team of about 6 physicians, and we really care for patients with both Hodgkin and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. And we treat patients across all stages of disease. But we certainly in our center, we have a focus on situations where treatment maybe haven't worked so well, where patients have had relapse or refractory disease. We specialize on stem cell transplantation and nowadays also Cartesian Therapy, probably being the largest provider of these therapies in Canada. Then I also have a research lab, and I'm very lucky to work with a bunch of very talented staff and students, and we got to really tackle difficult questions. How can we, for example, define what patient is going to respond to certain treatment and what patient maybe is not going to have so much luck, and can we do something about it? Can we find ways to overcome resistance to therapy? How can we diagnose disease better? And maybe better ways of diagnosing the disease without necessarily invasive tests. So lots of stuff going on in our research group.
Amazing, amazing. Would you mind taking just a moment here to deep dive into something about the research that you and your group are handling that you find incredibly interesting or just you would love for people to know?
Yes, I think that probably the biggest example of really progress in our field has been really the impact that immune therapies have had in the treatment of many cancers, but especially certain blood cancers such as lymphoma and non-Hodgkin, Hodgkin and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. I think one of the biggest examples is certainly Cartesian Therapy. So that's a therapy in which we essentially collect the patient's own immune cells. They get modified in the lab and then they get reinfused to the patient. And this is only funded by the government over the last year and has really transformed the outcomes of many of our patients. I certainly have patients who, let's say, had they had the same condition 10 years ago, they would no longer be with us. And of course, the treatment doesn't necessarily work in all patients. That's something we need to improve on, but we certainly have patients who now survive and, let's say, 2 or 3 years down the line appear to be in remission after having been on these clinical trials. So this is extremely promising and certainly a major interest of our group here.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what role does the Ride to Conquer Cancer play within the work that you do?
Well, I think generally fundraising, and especially the fundraising via the Ride, has an enormous impact on our research. Especially if you think about how fundraising is done, how we get grant funding, for example. Most grants get funded once we can show that we can really do the work, that we have accumulated substantial preliminary data. So in the end, much of the research that is funded is sometimes a bit incremental. And the reality is, with research funding through the Cancer Foundation, the Right to Conquer Cancer, this really allows us to ask bold questions where maybe we don't have the answers yet. It allows us to ask the question, where does the next breakthrough come from, and how can we invest with reason in those activities that allow us to really make progress for our patients.
Awesome. Awesome. And you're obviously involved in the Ride in general. I see your jersey on right now. I'm trying to make it out on the screen. Which team are you part of?
So I'm basically part of the HEME team that was created by the late Dr. Hans Messner, who unfortunately left us way too early also due to cancer, which is very sad for his family, but for his patients, for all of us. Yeah, but we are very dedicated to improving essentially the outcomes for any patient with blood cancer, and be it leukemia, be it other diseases, be it lymphoma. So that's the big mission of our team.
I love that. And you guys are just always amazing to see out on the Ride, and everything that you are doing at the Princess Margaret. As a closing thought here, are there any shout outs to your team members, people who are riding here today, or people that you want to mention right now? This is the time. It is your platform.
So it's lots of people to cite, but certainly the captains of our team, the HEME team, Sabrina, Michael, Joe, and Shannon. I think all the support people that make things happen at Princess Margaret, all the administrative personnel. My admin assistant, Sandra, is amazing. All the nurses we work with, oftentimes patients come back after difficult therapy and they say that what really made a difference is that they were always greeted with a smile when they came for their treatment. And that's largely the merit of our nursing team. All the coordinators that we have, and in particular, the people who work within my clinic, particularly Lauren and our nurse, Crystal, who really make our work so much easier, and are really instrumental to achieving what we do.
I love that. Yes. Let's get some big smiles going on here, and a round of applause from everybody on Zwift here, to all of the support staff, everybody within the research phase. And thank you so much, Dr. Credell. Thank you for being here and for guiding the HEME team as well. Everything that you guys are doing. We are getting into the final minutes and the final pace of the ride today. You have got a great peloton still around Rigo right now. So a lot of you are pushing really hard. And if you're like me, you're further back in the pack, but having a grand old time here today. Big shout out to a whole bunch of our riders and team members here today. Of course, as Steve was saying earlier, Team RBC, you guys are amazing. Lori, I think you are riding right around me right now. Lori DeKeiko has raised $58,345. Totally impressive. TD Peloton, Brenton, you are exceptional as well. You are 3 years into the ride right now. Brenton, wicked job there on TD Peloton, raising $11,686. Just amazing. We've got Team Surge on. You are pumping out the watts right now. Oh yes, Geared for Life coming in strong as well. And of course, Team Scotiabank. Oh, and those RMP accelerators. Andrea McNiven there. She is 12 years strong on the ride, raising $34,992 here. And of course, you know, when you make your donations, they go right to the Princess Margaret Cancer Center and fund that amazing, groundbreaking research and care that we have heard so much about today. We are going to announce the winner of contest number 2. who was closest to Rigo after we do a replay and make sure we know exactly who was closest to Rigo, because there are a few of you who were really tight in there. So those results are going to be announced next week for that Rigo Prize contest number 2. But right now, while I'm breathing hard on these pedals here, I want to bring back Steve Merker, resident ride guide. Steve, how you doing there?
Hey, Steve, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm kind of just cruising here. You sound like you're working harder than I am.
I might just be more out of shape than you are.
Well,
I'm going to guess that's the part.
You're doing a great job. Thanks for helping out this morning. So
always a pleasure.
Just thinking of the final contest that we can do, and whatever prizes we have some Rigo Uran swag. We have jerseys, we have hoodies, we have some Ride to Conquer Cancer stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge everybody, and I'm going to get my assistants to type in this into Zwift. The person closest to Rigo at 59 minutes is going to win the prize. So my team will take a picture of the screen at 59 minutes. Whoever's closest to Rigo at 59 minutes is going to win the prize pack. So I'm going to ask Rigo to maybe push it a little bit harder for the last couple minutes, and we'll see how many hammerheads can keep close to him.
Okay, yeah. I'm ready for the last minute full gas.
The last minute, full gas. Yeah, last minute.
So, just push it up.
Oh, and I just see a message there from Dan. He's going to triple the prizes. So Scotiabank is going to triple the prize package for this last little sprint. But we have, we're 56 minutes in. The ride is for an hour. I want to just have some closing remarks. So there's the final contest for all the Zwifters out there. I wanted to thank, first of all, our 3 guest speakers, Anthony Georgi, Tony Files, Robert Kreidel. Thank you so much for joining us today on Valentine's Day. I'm sure your loved ones will appreciate what you're doing. And of course, Steve, MC Steve, thank you for joining us early this morning. Help us out. And a massive heartfelt thank you, Rigo, to you for supporting our cause. You're an amazing inspiration. I want to come down and do Giro del Rigo one more time. So thank you. I'm going to maybe for the last few minutes or last minute, Rigo, if you have any last minute words for our riders before you take off.
Okay, thank you for you help me and say thank you for this ride for more than 400 people. But also I take this opportunity for say thank you for all the doctor, the hospital, because this job is very important. You save the life. I say thank you for this job, all the doctor. Thank you for it's amazing your job. Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Awesome.
Thank you, Rigo. Thank you, as Steve said, to all of our guests here today. The double Anthony's, Dr. and Anthony Georgi, and thank you to Dr. Kreidel. And yeah, every single one of you who is tuning in here today. Oh yes, I can hear Rigo pumping on the wattage right now for these final minutes. We're down shy of 2 minutes to that 59-minute mark that Steve Merker was just talking about for this final contest. Thank you to Scotiabank. Oh my gosh, amazing for helping to set this up today and then pumping those prizes. Steve, do you have some good shout outs that you can throw down here? Some teammates and some friends who are out on the pedals today.
Yeah, well, I want to do some special shout outs to some of my teammates on Geared for Life who I think are joining us today. Kelly, Susan, Ed, Gareth, Rich Holt is an honorary member of Geared for Life. He's the team captain of Manulife. Who else? Mike Crombie. I'm sure I'm missing a few. So thanks to my team. And thanks to each and every one of you, 418 or whatever the number is who are joining us here today, 414 from all over the world. You know, cancer is a disease that unfortunately touches so many people around the world. And it's great to see the number of people supporting us here today in helping us conquer cancer in our lifetime. So now I'm looking at 58:40. Yeah. So
Oh, Rigo's up at 290 watts right now.
Oh, that's nothing. That's his breakfast pace.
342. He's pumping it.
Look at those hammerheads. I'll try to stay up with them.
461. Holy smokes, going right to the finish line here.
There it is.
Yes. 564.
There's a couple of guys that were really, really close to Rigo at the 59-minute mark. So now we have 1 minute warm down before the end of the ride.
Butler and Henry are up in there. Whew, there are a few of you who are keeping pace. Rigo, you were pushing so hard. There he is, out of the saddle right now. 550 watts, closing us out today on this ride with Rigo. This is truly incredible. I'm so stoked to be here with all of you today. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of you who are riding and tuning in on YouTube and Facebook. I hope that every single one of you is signed up for the virtual Ride to Conquer Cancer this summer, June 12th and 13th. Oh, Rigo crosses the finish line. Oh, wow. Wow. And there is our hour. You have all been amazing. I hope your legs are jelly like mine. Rigo, how are you doing over there?
Oh, so happy. So happy for participating this event. Thank you for inviting me. I said before, thank you for this event, because this is the motivation for the people, because it's so nice and so happy to participate. And I hope see you soon for ride, but not virtual, normal ride. Conquer cancer. Thank you.
Definitely. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for getting us motivated here today for a really fun Valentine's Day ride. And I'm getting a heads up from the production team and the judges right now that contest number 2 was with Rigo was also super duper close to call. So we're going to go back to the instant replay and post the winner in the next couple of days, in the next week. Just thank you all so very much for being here. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day with all of your friends and family, the people that you can safely gather with or gather with virtually, just like we are doing here today with over 400 of you coming across multiple platforms. Everybody have a wonderful time, and thank you for joining us for Ride with Rigo here at the Ride to Conquer Cancer.